Somewhere in the distance, crickets sang their night song. From underneath the window, a cat meowed a pitiful plea, like wanting to be let in to sleep out of the heavy, damp night air. Otherwise, the world was still and quiet, tucked in slumber as a beam of moonlight streamed through the thin bedroom curtains. Noémie Trèves snuggled deeper into her husband Levy's strong embrace. For a moment he stirred, adjusting to her new position. Then he settled down. His light snore, so familiar to her, added to the comforting coziness of the night. She touched the place where their child slept. Or perhaps the little one was awake. Because it was early in her pregnancy, she had yet to feel the baby move within her. What would it be like when the child actually fluttered? What a wondrous moment that would be. One to look forward to. One to embrace. If only Maman were alive to experience this with her, to guide her in what to expect. Still, she had Levy, and for now they were at peace. Their small city was as safe as it could be in the midst of a war that embroiled the entire world. Though the Nazis controlled the northern part of France, here in the south, they were in no immediate danger. The Vichy didn't care for Jews like them very much, but at least they weren't arresting them in great numbers and shipping them away to Poland. There were whispers about Jews in the city disappearing off the streets, not in great numbers, but a few. Whispers of what was happening just a few kilometers away in the Rivesaltes. When it had been a camp for Spaniards fleeing the Civil War, it was bad enough. Rumors swirled like leaves in the wind about how much worse it was now that it was full of Jews and those who opposed the Vichy regime. She shoved away the thoughts of conflict, of men killing each other with guns, of airplanes dropping their deadly bombs on innocent civilians, of people wearing yellow stars disappearing from the streets, never to be heard from again. People who were taken because of her. All these concerns and regrets continued to creep in, no matter how she worked to put them away, to keep them on a high shelf where she couldn't reach them. They tore her heart to shreds and ate at her very soul. Why had she been so naive, so trusting, too trusting? She had blood on her hands, blood that would never wash away. Once she had forced herself to close the lid on that box, she worked to bring to mind happier thoughts. She and Levy had so much good coming their way. They had settled in this charming town in the balmy south of France. He worked hard in the vineyards and olive groves and provided well for her. And now they were expecting the amazing gift of a child. What more could she want? She would be happy to be working again, creating beautiful stained glass creations, but that was not possible now. Staying alive was their main concern. As long as the Vichy remained in power and she and Levy kept themselves as much out of trouble as possible, they had nothing to fear. Life could go on as normal as possible despite the rationing and blackouts. They were minor inconveniences compared to the horrors many were experiencing in other parts of Europe. The news that the Vichy were ramping up their arrests to placate the Germans was nothing but saber-rattling. It had to be. For over 2 years they had lived here in peace. She prayed that would never change. If nothing else, they had the Spanish border not too far away. As she stared into the darkness softened by moonlight, her eyelids fluttered and were almost shut when the cold, wet nose of her sweet little dachshund, Chin, touched hers. Though the dog's body was tiny, the entire bed shook as she wagged her tail. Noémie reached over and pulled the squirmy animal into her arms and whispered into her soft ear,